So Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney's face-to-face drop today. Let's react to it, man. Smash the like, sub to the channel, share the video. We're live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. You can also catch me live Sunday mornings with the Singing OG KQKC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Join the channel as a member. Drop super chats when you come by the live streams that we do. And hit me up if you want to debate. The email address is knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. Also, please hype up the video, man. It really helps us in the algorithm. All you got to do is go where you leave a comment, scroll over, and there's a hype button there for you to push. It's free of charge, don't charge you nothing, and it really helps me in the algorithm. Gets the video to the top of the recommended list, becomes increases the reach of the video. The hype button really helps it get this video out to people that may be looking for this type of content on YouTube. So please, if you're rocking with your boy KO, if you're rocking with the content, go ahead and hit that hype button one time for your boy. But let's get into it. So one thing that I do like about DAZN and their build up to their fights, I like the face-to-face. I like the face-off. I like that old Floyd Mayweather HBO 24/7 face-to-face where they're sitting across from the table each other, getting asked questions, popping their ish. That's one thing that I really do love about how DAZN promotes their fights. And I wish every promotion would do it that way. Like, my favorite build-up for a PBC fight in recent years that I can remember was that build-up of Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin when they did the interview on $1 Million Worth of Game, and they were both right there. It was like a face-to-face. That was fire. That was fire. And this one with Brian Norman and Devin Haney was equally as fire. And I want to break it down and talk about it in this video. So smash that like, sub to the channel. If you go look, you can tell that they shot this a long time ago. This was shot the same day that they did the kickoff press conference. You could tell because Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney had the same outfit that they had on when Brian Norman Jr. flipped Devin Haney's security guard. So this was shot that day, right? So I don't want anybody to think this was shot yesterday and they just dropped it today, or this was shot this week and they just dropped it today. You can go look at their outfits. You can go see what they had on in the altercation when they were face-to-face for the press build-up. So this was before the drug testing scandal. This is before the this is before all of that. Before the changing of the test, and before they had the phone call, True Media, the Tay Jones situation. This was before all of that. They had this face-off, but nonetheless, it just dropped. So let's talk about it. So first, they were going back and forth real good. Devin Haney was leaning on, Brian Norman Jr. ain't fought nobody. And Brian Norman Jr. is a nobody. He called Brian Norman Jr. a bum. A lot of stuff, right? And Brian Norman Jr. said, well, hey, shoot, I guess now I'm going to be knocking out somebody because you somebody, right? And very back and forth situation. For Devin Haney, I just, it's with Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, those guys, it's always the same question that I have leading up to every one of their fights. It's always the same question that I have leading up to how they talk. Devin Haney usually does a better job of standing on what he say. But recently, since the Ryan Garcia fight, he looked like a shell of himself against Jose Ramirez. But he'll have a chance to right the ship in exactly 2 weeks from today. But he said Brian Norman Jr. is a bum. He really didn't want to say nothing, but now that it's here, Brian Norman Jr. is a bum. And the question is he going to treat Brian Norman Jr. like a bum? Because when you get in there with a bum, you know you can do everything with him. You're very confident. You don't shy away from it because you're in there with a bum. My guess is Devin Haney is talking like that, but he's going to respect Brian Norman Jr. and he's not going to treat Brian Norman Jr. like he's a bum. He's just talking. The most interesting thing about this was what we all know. Devin Haney fans don't like to talk about it. They hate when fan bases of other fans bring it up. They damn sure hate when I bring up what I'm about to bring up, because Brian Norman Jr. stole a play out of the Knockout Boxing 86 TV handbook, out of the KO handbook, out of the Knockout Boxing 86 handbook, whatever you want to call me. You know what I'm saying? He stole the page out of my handbook, and he got under Devin's skin, and you could tell towards the end of their face-off, because it's only about 9 minutes long. I suggest you go and watch it. He told Devin, stop trying to be like Floyd. Stop trying to be like Floyd. And he said, y'all go play Floyd Mayweather clips, and you're going to see that Devin Haney is repeating his own, exactly what Floyd said. And that he don't have his own identity, and that he need to run his own play. And that got under Devin's skin. They got Devin so mad, bro. He got so bothered. And it's the truth. Devin be sounding like he talking from a script, bro. You know, from when he was telling people, I'm an A-level fighter, he's a C-level fighter. That's Floyd Mayweather words. When he told Brian Norman, you violate, I'm going to demonstrate. That's exactly what Floyd Mayweather said. You know, and you could tell that got under Devin Haney's skin. And Brian Norman Jr., he kind of won that face-off, if you ask me. Does that mean he'll win the fight? We'll see in a couple of weeks, and I'll let y'all know who I'm picking the week of the fight. But he definitely rattled Devin. And Brian Norman Jr. just looked more comfortable going back and forth. He just looked more sure of what he was saying. And he won the war of the words. You know, he definitely got in Devin's head with that one. Told Devin he gonna hit him so hard on his arm. I'ma tell you, meniscus, he was cooking Devin, bro. He was cooking Devin a little bit. Devin tried to go back and forth. He tried to get aggressive. He told Brian Norman, you on my DI, and all kind of stuff. But that's what happens when you raise up. And you let your daddy talk for you all the time, bro. The interesting thing about Brian Norman Jr. and Abdullah Mason is they have boxing dads as well who talk. Brian Norman Sr. is much more outspoken than Valiant Mason is. But, however, both Brian Norman Jr. and Abdullah Mason seem to have minds of their own. Seem to have been able to separate what their daddies think from what they think, the swag that their daddies have compared to the swag that they have. It's very, very interesting. Very, very different. Whereas when you look at Devin and Bill is more entertaining. He's more witty. He's the better ish talker. Devin he gets a little flustered. Because when what he practiced don't work, like Brian caught him off guard with that shit. When what he practiced don't work, he get flustered a little bit. Ryan Garcia flustered him in the lead up to their fight, and it made Devin fight emotional, made him fight stupid. For the sake of him, for the sake of his fans, he can't afford that against Brian Norman Jr. He can't afford to let Brian get in his head. And I thought Brian did a good job because the violate, demonstrate part came from when Devin said, you never know, I might do this, I might do that. Brian Norman Jr. said, come on, you know you ain't going to stand in the pocket with me. You know you ain't going to stand in the pocket with me, bro. You know you're not going to do that. And that's when Devin was like, I don't know, you violate, I'm going to demonstrate. Like, it's a good plan to me mentally for Brian to try to get Devin to try to show the world how tough he is, how durable he is, how he's not going to run. That's just going to play into Brian Norman Jr.'s hands. So we'll see if Devin Haney allowed Brian Norman Jr. to get in his head or not. That was shot months ago. So he's definitely had time to cool off. But if I'm Brian Norman Jr. from now to every other interview, I'm calling Devin scared. They getting their face off during the weigh-in. They getting their face off during the final press conference. Same thing. You gonna run. You gonna run. You scared. You scared. You gonna run. Make it about the heart and will of Devin. Because that's what's in question. That's what's in question for him. But overall, the face-off was very good, very entertaining. I enjoyed it. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Comment below, smash a like, sub to the channel. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.